Hello, everyone. Welcome to the day 8 of the Cyber Yuva campaign organized by Cyber Jagriti Foundation in collaboration with Legal Wine. Today, we are coming with front of you on a very important aspect with when it is which is very most concerned to the children and to the most also to the parents, which is about the POCSO Act which we are having in India. So in the past 6 7 months, we have seen at our organization, there are so many complaints about harassment to their children via these online games, or various other devices also. So many people were keen to know about what to do with this kind of behavior which is happening with our kids. Do we have any laws for that? Is there any online mechanism how to report it? So for that we have invited a very good eminent person, Mr. Prabhu Prasanna Behera ji, with us, who is who has been working at central government council and appearing for the government of India in Orissa High Court. He has been conducting cases in subordinate courts of Orissa High Court and Supreme Court of India. He has been appearing in Karnataka High Court, High Court of Delhi, and Calcutta High Court. He has been appeared before National Company Law Tribunal, Competition Commission of India, and National Green Tribunal. Not only that, he has so much more being contributing to the society in various forms by a legal retainer, by conducting, associations with, or delivering sessions with various education institutions, and conducting cases for various companies and corporate. His profile, if I go on, it's very very huge. So without spending much time on that, I request Prabhu sir to please take over the session. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation. Welcome to the platform, sir.
Thank you, Rupesh ji. Indeed, I'm grateful for such a wonderful introduction. I'm doubtful that whether I deserve such a warm welcome, but however, I express my gratitude for inviting me. I would like to share my thoughts, ideas on the topic given by your esteemed organization. First of all, I would like to congratulate and also express my happiness that your organization is doing extremely good, being very popular, and of course, I would say that it's very unique. So, and by a person, you and your team is inspiring a lot of youth, especially in the field of law and social legal awareness program. I always say in my sessions, whenever I go interact with students or professionals, that we need to set a radar that is going to send messages to the destinations and various I mean, people think of reaching somewhere in the life. That is, we call it aim in the life, but for which they need to interact, for which they need to set a radar. You are setting a very good, not only an example, you are setting trend and you are setting a good radar. So that's indeed a trend setting and example for many youngsters, many of us. So coming to your topic that you have assigned, I hope and believe that I would be able to justify within the time frame that you have given. The topic that you have assigned me is POCSO e-box, right? So, and also I have been instructed by your team that we don't have law students, we have other students from sociology, from other backgrounds. So we need not go in detailed or technical thing. We need to reach out. That's a very wonderful thought, which I must appreciate. Everybody would appreciate that. So taking that POCSO e-box, so the simple meaning, if you try to understand, that is a system or a platform where easy direct reporting of complaint or lodging FIR against sexual abuse against a child, which is under POCSO Act. Now question comes, what is POCSO? Right, that is, I would, if I need to elaborate it, Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. When we talk about Sexual Offence Act, question comes, it may come to anybody's mind that we had Indian Penal Code. How it is different? What was the requirement for having this act? Then we move ahead with e-box and with cyberspace. So if I would sum up in making a small difference between Indian Penal Code and POCSO Act, this is a very special statute which is particularly specially for protection of children and any offenses, especially sexual offenses against the children. Now, coming to the sexual offense, it has to be understood in a broader sense. Previously, if Indian Penal Code talks about offenses against body, that has got very limited interpretation. So, for example, when you talk about sexual offense, it is always against female or a girl, woman. But here it is gender neutral. So here, and it doesn't talk about particularly a particular gender, that is female. It talks about both male and female who is a child. Now coming to the definition of child. Now when I say both male and female and I say child, it's my duty to tell that who is a child. Everybody knows it from the logic, from the society. But law defines that a human being below the age of 18 is a child. Now another question comes that sometimes medically there are some human being, male or female, they might be biologically above 18, but medically they are prescribed that they are below age of 18 mentally. Let me tell you to the viewers that law does not, especially POCSO Act and subsequently the judgment of Supreme Court in 2017, Honorable Apex Court said that POCSO Act does not make a person a child if his mental health is below 18. Okay, thus anybody who wants to refer to the judgment 2017 15th SEC Supreme Court cases, page 133. So that is what a basic idea who is a child, and a child not necessarily a male or a female, both can be protected under the POCSO Act. Now when we talk about sexual offenses, it is can broadly understood as sexual assault, sexual harassment and child pornography. We'll come in detail in few minutes later. Now there is another aspect to it, is online abuse, online sexual abuse. It may happen to a person who is not a child above 18, but we are talking about child who is below 18. So how it is important? By way of texting, by email, by social media, or by online games. The children, a child or a children are more attracted towards online games, YouTube, on various social media. By way of all these social media and social platforms, they can be abused sexually, and POCSO Act also protects that. Now, when we are at the elementary stage of understanding POCSO, then there are certain uh, more features, more facilities that we need to understand before going to e-box. POCSO Act is a comprehensive law for overall protection of a child, such as it doesn't only takes care and takes action against the sexual offenses, it protects the child and it safeguards the interest of the child in every stage of the trial or a judicial process, including investigation and trial. Now it provides special courts, special investigating procedure and child friendly mechanism in each and every stage. So I will draw this line to e-box, how it is child friendly. That's why I mentioned it very particularly, child friendly mechanism. Now there is also attempt to put stringent punishments. There are also attempts to have special juvenile police unit. We call it SJPU. Then Child Welfare Committee. And also, I should mention that POCSO Act says no presumption of innocence. Now, if we compare with jurisprudence, criminal jurisprudence says that unless and until a person is found or proved guilty beyond all reasonable doubt, there is a presumption of innocence. Here it is not there. That is the peculiarity and speciality of this act. Therefore, these are the features, the facilities, or the provisions of the act. Now, question comes while we are little going ahead with, let's say, e-box towards e-box. There is a monitoring unit which is also prescribed under the act. The monitoring unit is National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. Under section 44 of the POCSO Act, there is the provisions for monitoring unit is there. Now, when we talk about monitoring, this particular commission has the power to monitor the implementation of the act, to find out where the problem arises, to find out how to bridge the gap between the victim in the society, between the mechanism available in the judiciary, and to suggest what legislative reforms can be done. Likewise, there are also in each and every state, the state commission is also there, which is under section 17. It is provided for the state commission. Now, when we talk about monitoring unit, how they monitor and what is the, will directly come to the importance and effect of monitoring. There was a study, if I remember correctly, in 2007. Government of India, Women and Child Welfare Department had made a study. Friends, you'll be astonished with the result of this study. It was found, of course, they had taken up various methods of data collection and study, out of which 53% of the surveyed children have expressed, and it was found that they have been abused sexually and they have been victim of sexual abuse, sexual harassment. Now, more difficult data is, out of which more than 80% of the children are being harassed. I'm sorry by saying this. We need to wake up. We need to open our eyes. We need to be in our senses that more than 80% out of that surveyed children are being abused by relatives, friends, and near and dears. The question was, there has been series of discussions, there has been debates, there has been lot of discussions, academic, social discussions in social medias, in media. If it is so, why these cases are not uh, reported? Why these cases are not properly taken up? There is system in judiciary. Laws are being framed. As you know, in our democracy, we have three pillars: executive, legislative, judiciary. I think as on today, we have legislative measures, we have equipped judiciary, we have executives to implement. But what is the problem? Why such cases are not being reported, not being taken into record? That also being investigated, that also being surveyed. You know what? The results come out. It is all recorded. I am not saying from my own experience. The result is most of the cases are not reported because of social stigma. Most of the cases are not reported because the parents, the near and dears, the child does not want to go to a particular place to file the complaint. Although the child knows that he will be protected, he will be cared, he will be uh, provided with a lot of uh, care, love, and affection. But the only problem is he doesn't want to go out and say it. That was alarming. That situation was alarming. Now I will take a pause here, with of course with the permission of the moderator. I will go to, when we are discussing legal aspect, then we cannot avoid the social aspect. We always say that today's child is future of tomorrow. You never know, a child might be a person who can change the fate of the society, who can be a role model for the country. But these are all what we talk about, external thing about this, about the child. We always talk about the studies, we talk about school, colleges, and what facility we are giving. But psychology and sociology, these two subjects, if we analyze, although I'm not a student of psychology or a sociology, but I have got opportunities to study psychology and sociology. There also analysis says the mental impression, the effect of any act, commission, or omission in a child's mind remains as an impression for throughout the life. That affects the psychology, that affects the cognitive behavior of a child, and that affects the development, overall development of the child. And that is why the Department of Women and Child Welfare, Government of India, thought to bring a new system in which a child can stay at home without going anywhere, at least with the help of a person who has got confidence or who has been successful in winning the confidence of the child, can lodge a complaint, and within the comfort zone, the offender or the offense can be investigated and the offender can be punished. I think whatever we discussed in last 15-20 minutes, everybody would be thinking in that process. What is that? What is that mechanism we can develop? Now the question, the IT comes, information technology, internet, where we are now more exposed after the pandemic. We are more, you know, uh, exposed to that. We have understood the importance of it. Of course, it is your Rupesh ji's forte. He has got expertise on the technical side. So there, in 2000, in 20th century or 21st century, we thought of utilizing. We means the government thought of utilizing the uh, internet or the virtual mode or a internet system to help the mechanism to bridge the gap, for which the concept of e-box came, and it was also monitored by the National Commission for Protection of Child Right. And how they did it? How they did it, I'll tell you. Initially, it was, I should mention that it was inaugurated by the then uh, Minister of Women and Child Welfare, Mrs. Maneka Gandhi, who is also who works for animal rights, and on 26/8/2016, and then National Commission for Protection of Child Rights took up, and for which a lot of lucrative methods have been developed. A lot of easier methods have been developed. For example, anybody can go to the portal, go to the website of National Commission, where you will see a lot of videos, where the videos are in a very simple language, in very lucrative language, have been prepared animated videos, where the first thing was done as awareness. The child or the children and their parents, you and me, everybody is being aware that this is our right, and this is the procedure where how we can file the complaint, how we can take the help of law to punish the offender. So there are a lot of videos, animated videos, you will get it in the website. So that portal, anybody can, if you now also, I also did before the discussion, I also visited that, and you will see a video, very short video, animated video. Then in the website, in the portal, there are pictures where you'll see a shop, because the concept is where a child is probably being abused, being harassed. It is maybe in house, maybe in school, maybe in public places. And that harassment is, yes, I will also, I would like to tell that what kind of harassment. So what kind of harassment and what are the places, probable places where the child can be harassed, is also being depicted in the videos. That is again another very good thing which ebox provides for the awareness uh, for the general citizen and the children, of course. Suppose this is one part for so far as awareness is concerned. Second, I would slightly differ. I mean, pause here, and I would like to inform certain important aspect which I think should be communicated to the viewers or everybody, you and me, whosoever is watching. That, friends, let us teach our kids, our children, that any action, commission, or omission or gesture which is making you awkward physically or mentally, that needs to be revolted, that needs to be reacted. Now I would say that that action, commission, omission, gesture, if being done by very close relative, not so close relative, or you know or you don't know, that is to be reacted upon. I mean, that is to be revolted, that is to be informed at least. Now question is, which is very important, that when it is to be informed, when it is to be uh, marked or communicated. I would say the first act of awkwardness, the first act of feeling awkwardness, or which has which we feel that this is something not correct, which I don't like, that has to be reacted upon, and that has to be taught to each and every child of us in our family. Anything which you feel bad, you don't feel like, you don't feel good, and the first time also, then also you forget about the relation, you have to react. Then only the person will be aware, and the person that can reduce a lot of such cases. Now coming back to, if the somebody is watching, anybody is watching, they can say that, suppose the first act, I'm feeling awkward, I'm feeling ashamed of, I'm feeling uh, fear fear, I mean, I'm frightened to inform anybody. Then I'll just make a small analysis psychologically. See, my dear friends, Rupesh ji, you will also agree. If you can disagree, also you tell me. Somebody who can feel that fear, that means that child has that mental capacity to judge that this is something which I might get into trouble, isn't it? Somebody, a child thinks that if I say this, I would be, facing some kind of difficulties. That means he has that mental capacity to judge the situation. There the e-box comes into play. If you have thought, if you have that mental capacity to think that, okay, if I say this, I will be facing a difficulty, might be in a wrong side, but that child can directly log into the Google. I mean, I see a very small kids, like 5 years, 4 years, kids can watch YouTube. Okay, they can, at least they can send voice messages. Okay, so I would request each one of us, everybody in the society, in the family, if we see our kids are using internet, at least they should be aware, at least they should be, brought up in such a manner that the first act of awkwardness has to be reported. If you cannot say it to somebody, you can put it in the website, you can send a voice message to somebody at least. uh, you can send it to anybody, and that voice message, that thing can be directly, relied, or that can connected with ebox. Now I'll come to the third stage. I'm sorry, I just lost track from the video, but I think it was important to inform. So there you need to give your user, I mean, after you see the various places where you can be, where the child can face the harassment, then there is a, you can click that, you find a space where you can give your, I think it's not required to be said that somebody is watching your live streaming will be knowing it, but still, just for others, you can give your details and your personal details, contact number, email, whatever is required. Then you can put your grievance. Here, I would say, as a lawyer, the more detail you give is better. And in a criminal case, we always think that you have to make, when you file a complaint, you have to make specific allegation in order to touch the ingredients of those offenses. Here, my dear friends, let me tell you, it is not required. Please don't think like in that manner. I have come across out of my personal experience where some person has said, sir, we were supposed to file a complaint, but we did not do because of two reasons. One, as I said, that social thing and all. Second, he just did this. We didn't know whether we are not aware that whether this will amount to an offense under POCSO or not. We are not aware about the ingredients of the offenses. So, my dear friends, let me clarify that in the grievance section, you may not worry about the ingredients at all. Whatever has happened, whatever the child has communicated, you just put it, because the next step is very important. When you just put it, you will get automated message, a registration confirmation of your registration. Once you get that, there is a person, an officer in charge of investigation will give you a call. A question, some in another session, people had asked me that how much time they take to call. Of course, that's a drawback. There is no specific time you get to get a call back, but I believe you will get a call back with very short time span. Some queries has come. I saw that we require a medical examination. We require an expert, a psychologist to consult the child uh, to qualify the child to explain it properly. I would say it is not required at all, because the investigating officer, when he gives a call, if you feel ashamed or you feel difficulty in reaching him, he will reach to your uh, house and he will note down whatever has happened with you, whatever the allegation or grievance is. Then he will report it to Child Welfare Committee. CWC is popularly known as CWC. The CWC has the power to protect, to take all possible measures to take care of the overall uh, development and protection of the child. So this is what a very simple and easy method to uh, lodge a complaint without facing any hassle, without going anywhere, and to put forth your grievances. And there are mechanisms to accept it and investigate it within your comfort zone. That has to be communicated and that has to be told to each and every child. Now, question is, there are some kids, those who actually they are not able to, they cannot use the internet. Below 18 starts from first year, 1 year to 17 years. A 17 years, 16 years, 14 years, 10 years can use it, not a very small kid. There, the social responsibility of parents near and dear comes. It is not the person, the victim or the child to lodge the FIR or the grievance. It can be done by any other person who is having the direct knowledge or who has been told or informed by the child. There, I have seen in some cases the parents or the child may not feel comfortable to share with his parents. He shares with a teacher, maybe elder brother or sister, maybe a relative, grandparents. There, some of the persons, they they are afraid of not complaining because of their personal relation, their social reputation. Here, I think I had forgotten in the first page to mention all the information and the informant's details are to be kept secret. You need not disclose it. Nobody is going to disclose it. That has to be also taken into account. This is the basic thing or procedure of e-box. Now, in between, we discussed about importance, how it is important, how it is connecting the loopholes, the gap that we used to face before e-box has come. Because in FIR, zero FIR system has come. You can file anywhere. I'm traveling from, let's say, Cuttack or Bhubaneswar to Bangalore to meet Rupesh ji, and in between something has happened. I will have to, initially, what used to happen? I used to face a lot of difficulty where the FIR is going to be lodged. Now the concept of zero FIR has come, where I can file it anywhere. It is the duty of the concerned police station to uh, refer and to investigate and to send it to the local jurisdiction. Likewise, so gradually the legal system, with the help of legislative measures, are actually helping the system to develop and the issues to be addressed. Here, while we are approaching to end this session, maybe I don't know what's the time, but however, I would also like to discuss the certain intention that was there while e-box was POCSO e-box was initiated. There, I had seen some letters from Government of India where it is there in the public domain, where the ministry wanted to uh, open websites in each and every regional language. Suppose I don't know the language, it is now English and Hindi. Suppose a child doesn't know English, or his or her relative doesn't know English or Hindi. So the intention was to open the website in uh, regional languages, but probably it has not opened as of now. Through your organization, through this, we can request, we can also put forth this point before the uh, appropriate government, appropriate agency, that we can start it, because you are doing a wonderful job of bridging the gap, awareing, making others aware, and also to uh, to be to be a person or organization to show that these are lacuna we need to fulfill. A second is, it is not just, as I said, biological age and mental age. There, I would also like to put my ideas. Suppose a person who is not biologically coming within the definition of a child, but is being abused. There also, the e-box can have a separate feature for investigation, because okay, law does not provide it, but the procedure, the system that we have, because the person who is mentally maybe of age of 38, 40 years old, but his mental age is not much less than 10 years. Here, I mean, we have seen a lot of movies, right? I don't want to promote any movie, but you see that there, such person can use this platform,
E-box.
e-box, and make a complaint. Then the investigating officer may deal with it, but it is not coming under the POCSO Act, but it may come under the IPC. there is no harm, because
So true. So true.
when law is to protect the victim, and the state is always to protect the victim as well as the society. So e-box can be utilized as an additional feature to those who are not coming under the ambit of uh, definition of child by the order of the Supreme Court, or the definition, but can be useful because already the platform is there. Nobody is going to face any difficulties. Second, still it is, I think, since 2016, almost 5 years has come, but awareness is required. When I was discussing about e-box today morning, or after lunch with a couple of my friends, they were also not aware. Okay,
Okay.
I say, I see, it is not about being a lawyer or a law student or an advocate or being in the legal side. No, it is to be known, understood by each and every person. Let it be a person who is a daily laborer, or a person who works in a big company as the head of the company. Doesn't matter. A human being is a human being, and it is everybody's duty and responsibility to make more awareness. Because today, if you see, everybody has a mobile phone and a smartphone in his hand, with internet facility, but doesn't know how to use it for the betterment of the society. So that is why
Definitely.
awareness is required. And now question is registration. Now we need to focus on registration of the cases. What happens, out of my personal experience, what happens when you register a case, we always think about the end product, that if I have registered it, that means that person needs to be taken behind the bar. And that is why people always ask us that, sir, is he going to be punished, is he going to be arrested, is he going to be sent to jail for, let's say, 5 years? We always jump into the result, for which we don't take steps. The e-box is a very good tool where you don't require to think about it. You just put it, and you know everything will be taken care of. Like Lord Sri Krishna says, Sarva dharman paritijjo mamekam saranam prajo aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishyami iti mas. It says to Arjuna, I just reminded immediately, you leave everything, you come to me, I will take care of it. I would connect it this as Lord Sri Krishna's view in Mahabharata, that you forget everything, you put your grievance, the system is there to take care of you. And that comfort zone has to be available. That knowledge that such a comfort zone is available, to be made available to each and every household, because every household has a child. Okay. Now next comes, I talked about local language. Now two more aspect I would like to touch. That is, number one, sometimes the rural areas where we face a lot of such difficulties. In rural areas, what happens? The rural kids, let's say in very remote areas, they are being abused, they are being harassed, but neither they nor their parents are aware of such system. So something has to be done. Or let's say, maybe an office, we call it as, from the legal service authority side, or from any organization, NGOs, they can have a small office where you can have internet, where you can just sensitize the thing, where this e-box can be popularized. Like in all courts we have, in taluk level and in district level we have um, front offices. Okay, front office, you, if you anybody knows about it, well, I'll explain. Front offices means where if you anybody faces any difficulties in filing a cases, lodging an FIR, then they can go to that legal service authority. People are there, they will help in making their work easier. So in rural areas, of course there would be internet issues, but this provisions of e-box, but rural areas also, with all respect, I would say that people are little uh, face difficulties, or they are afraid of going to police station. They're afraid of going to courts. They're afraid of going to any government offices because of the hassles. Let's not talk about that. We are not going to reform immediately, but the difficulty is they face it. That's a fact. So organizations like yours, or organizations those who work in the ground level, or legal service authorities, they can popularize by putting uh, they can popularize this system of POCSO e-box in the front office of the court, or in schools, or in colleges. So I'll come to school. There they can actually popularize this. I would request everybody, including myself, to sensitize and to make it more popular in any possible manner whatsoever. Last suggestion would be, this thing can be added in the curriculum of the school. Personally, I am associated with many schools. I have adopted one school where we have suggested that we will introduce this particular system, or study material or module, where we will uh, tell the students, kids, the children, to know that this is the system where you can utilize and you can report, so that the number of such cases can be reduced. Right? So these are the basic suggestions that I was uh, thinking to make through your uh, site or through your program. Other than that, I think I have covered anything left you can say, because we can, if
No,
anything
sir,
left we
I
can
think
touch.
we have covered almost everything. So I'll just put in few points. So
Yes,
whoever wants to know about the website, so the display
yes,
it's coming on the screen. So link to the POCSO e-box is https ncpcr.gov.in/index2.php. If in case you weren't aware of that, you can take this. And so there was one question coming, I think that is also answered. So a
yes,
question was that belonging to weaker section doesn't
yes,
know how to access Google, and the inbox and all. So if we look into POCSO cases of Orissa, I think because you are
yes,
from Orissa,
yes,
someone is asking specifically from there. So almost all cases belong to children belonging to that character, that category.
yes,
And but also when you said that the details are being kept need to be kept confidential, that should not be disclosed. I think there is someone who is contradicting that, saying that many special courts of Odisha are openly disclosing the name of the victims in their judgments. So, any you want to counter this? I think first one already is covered, but in the second one, maybe if you want.
technically it has to be kept secret. And if you see that sometimes they use certain words which are certain names which are actual not the actual name. Okay,
Okay.
so if
Alias,
I would say, sorry.
alias, मतलब,
Yes, no, no.
some
Alias,
reference
yes.
name.
Alias, yes. They make some. Suppose your name is Rupesh, they will make it, let's say, Ram. Okay,
Okay.
so they will
Mm-hmm.
make it Ramesh, something like that. So that they do. Second is where we think that our name is to be kept confidential. If it is not happening, I would request that it becomes first our duty to inform the presiding officer, to inform the investigating officer that, sir, we want it to be kept confidential.
Confidential.
They will definitely act upon it. Still they don't want, they're not doing it. uh, I would say that they will do in very rarest of the rare case. If something happens, then there are forums you can complain. But I think if you are coming across such issues where the names are being disclosed, then you can immediately, without delay, go to the officer in charge or the presiding officer, requesting him or her to kept it secret. They will definitely accept your request.
Yes, I think the point which you said is also being implemented many. I'm not sure about POCSO cases, but in the rape cases which we see, the Nirbhaya
Yes,
case,
yes, yes,
Nirbhaya is not name of any person. And in
yes.
Hyderabad of ours, we had this Disha case and some other few cases, severe cases, in which some name used to be given to that. The details are still kept confidential. I think.
Rupesh ji, I'll take 1 minute while I'll say that there is a one thing that comes to my mind. See, you just mentioned about rape cases. Here I have seen there is a change in thought process. Okay,
Okay.
suppose something has happened to me, I would say no, take my name, and I am the person who has faced this, and I
Right.
want to file a case. Take my name, and that would give a lot of other persons to gather confidence and courage to come. Okay, that's a different angle. I see that this is debatable. This can be opposed. I am open to it. But the idea is, the very moment I say I don't fear to come against Mr. ABC, whosoever has done it, so that I become an example.
Yes.
The very moment I say I am suppressing my identity, that means somewhere somehow I am succumbing to, I am subjected to that social uh, you know uh, uh, trauma, or I am thinking that probably I am not going to face the society in that usual manner. That is one which is again debatable. I leave up to the entire society. I am nobody to comment, but this is my personal opinion. I think the time is changing. I have seen some of the videos, some of the interviews in the televisions nowadays where openly the victims are coming. I don't mind. I am not the just the tag is there a victim. That doesn't mean I am going to stay in a screen, or I am not going to disclose. What's the problem? I have not done something wrong. That person is has done something wrong. So
Yes.
he would pray to keep her his or her name secret, or not to be disclosed. Why will I? That mindset has to come. I think that would, if that comes, no, not as a lawyer, as a social engineer, I would say, as a human being at least, I would say that mindset will eradicate lot of such cases. But yes, with all due respect to the question, whenever we come across such issue, we should inform to the concerned authorities or the presiding officer.
Sure. I think that's all we have, sir. So, because other questions, there are so many questions actually. We got more than 50 questions, and all of them
Okay.
you have beautifully covered in your session. Thank you so much, sir, for making your time out of your busy schedule and joining with us way from Odisha and having a stable connection also. Because I was asking Arya also about this. Yeah, he's coming from Odisha, and now there is cyclone kind of environment there, so maybe will the connection be stable or not? I was very afraid of that also, but luckily we didn't have any trouble and smoothly the session has happened. Thank you so much, sir, for
Now,
joining us.
when the intention is the most strongest, the intention is
Yes.
uninterrupted. The everything is being taken care of. So the all the credit goes to you and Arya, who have taken up this initiative. So I wish all the very best for whatever you are doing. It's actually a trend setting activity
Sure,
that you
sure.
are doing. So thank you for having me. I'm really
Thank you so
grateful
much,
to
sir.
you.
And
Thank
one
you
more
so much.
point I would like to mention here, sir. All the points which you have mentioned, so we are actually documenting them and compiling it in the form of a book. So in
Okay.
the validatory session of this campaign, we will be launching that book also. I'll send you invitation for that also. Please, if you
Okay.
find time, please try to join.
I'll make a note, and I will make a note. I have prepared that note. I will share it with you, and I hope you like it. I've just point down the no points. I'll just little elaborate it within a limited words, and I'll share it with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you.